Hello and welcome to stage one of the Saudi Tour 2022, the second edition of this brand new race in a wonderful region. This race is centred on AlUla. It's going to be a wonderful 5 days of bike racing in the desert. All the stars of the world of cycling have descended on Saudi Arabia. 15 teams, 96 riders, with many of the World Tour teams featured in this year's field, along with some invited guests, including the Kuwait Pro Cycling team and the Terengganu team from Malaysia. Head of the race then, the mechanics very busy getting all the bikes built after they arrived on the cargo plane. Getting everything set up before all the riders went out for their reconnaissance of some of the routes. Time to go out and discover what's in store for the race ahead. The riders expecting some warm sunshine, but a little bit of a chill wind in the air. Maybe that'll give us some interesting racing conditions later on in the week. If the crosswinds blow in this region, then the echelons will form and races can be won and lost in a split second. There's a wonderful group of sprinters here, including the likes of Fernando Gaviria, Dylan Groenewegen and the Australian rider Caleb Ewan. He comes from Lotto Soudal and he's looking to get his season off to an exciting start here in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, for sure. We want to keep that rolling. So, I think we're here with a super motivated group. We have a strong team for the sprint. It's exciting to start with like a bit, with Rudy Seelig as well coming to the sprint train. That's exciting. So, I'm looking forward to getting the race started.
Yeah, I feel strong at the moment, but we see in the race, during the race, we see what's the legs, for what we need to change for the next races, and then always in the first race of the year it's difficult to know what your performance, because you really don't know how was the performance of the other riders, and then this is the first race of this year, and then we see what is the performance for us.
I tried today the climb, and it's very hard, really steep. And of course we try to be in the front and maybe to win the stage, but of course it will be difficult.
Some sprint stages ahead and some great climbs before the race gets underway, and it's the team presentation. A stunning affair with sparkling lights and fireworks, and the 15 teams presented to the VIPs and the crowd awaiting. With the presentation completed, time to take a look then at what's in store for the riders during the 5 days of racing. Stage one, the riders will take on 198 kilometres from the Winter Park in AlUla, taking on a looping route through some historic areas, fighting out for the trophy that's on offer. On the menu for today, on stage number one, a gravel section of just over 7 kilometres, which really is going to be an area where the riders will have to be vigilant. It could be where you can win or lose this year's Saudi Tour. The riders rolling out then of the Winter Park, sunshine on their backs, the wind calmed down. We'll see who the first attackers of this year's race are. Well, the riders are racing through some of the most historic landscapes in the world. AlUla was founded in the 6th century BC. It's on the historic incense route. The riders today will race through Hegra, which was the southernmost city of the Nabatean kingdom. Petra, of course, was the northernmost city at the time. This area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's going to give us a breathtaking backdrop to today's peloton. We look down on the peloton now, and the three riders have been on the attack all day. Yuri Anstad of UNO-X, Amin of the Terengganu team, and Torzakis of the Kuwait team now back in this peloton. On the front of the group, the Lotto Soudal team have all come to the front, and they are looking to try and position Caleb Ewan in the perfect position as we go into the gravel section. That's in Hegra, this important historical place with over 130 monumental tombs. It is a stunning place. So we look down on this peloton, we can see the different colours of the squads as they start to form up, looking after the interests of their sprinters. Many of the team directors today did say before the race starts they believed that it would be a bunch sprint, albeit it might be from a small group of riders rather than just the big peloton. And as we head towards this gravel section, it's important to be in position to look after the right riders. And of course, punctures and crashes can be an issue. Well, let's hope no one comes down as we head now towards this all-important part of today's race. Once they come out of the gravel section, there's a bonus sprint on offer as well for 3 bonus seconds for the first rider across the line. On the front then of the peloton, it's Thomas de Gent. He's towing this group along. And de Gent, of course, a stage winner in all 3 Grand Tours. Also a rider who's finished right on the podium of the Giro d'Italia after he produced a wonderful performance on the famed Stelvio. Well, he's quite happy here to just tow this group along, hoping to position Caleb Ewan to give Lotto Soudal an even better start to a season that's already seen them win some races already with Tim Wellens and Arnaud Delis. Throughout this region, there is so much history for tourists to see. At times today, we're racing over 1,000 metres above sea level. As we go on now to the gravel section, this is absolutely critical. And the teams at the front look like they have got their sprinters in the right position. DSM in the black and blue colours there. Oh, there's a big crash. And a rider hitting the deck pretty heavily there, and another big crash on the left-hand side. A few riders have come down. Let's just try and see through the dust as to who is on the deck. It looked to me like Baggioli is down for the team of Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl. They've, of course, changed their name during the winter. The coining sponsor has moved to one of the other teams, so Quick-Step now known as Quick-Step Alpha Vinyl. There's a real surge on the left-hand side. Riders trying to stay out of trouble. Lotto Soudal still in a perfect position. Look at the way they are riding at this moment in time. Well, this section doesn't relent for a little while. If that was Baggioli who hit the deck for Quick-Step, he's their main hope for the overall classification. A rider who wore the white jersey in La Vuelta, of course, as the leader of the Best Young Rider competition for a few days. Big move on the left-hand side. This is one of these monumental tombs that are in this particular area, carved out of the stone on the side of the rock. Incredible to think the amount of history that has been on this particular route. No time for the riders to take a glance over to the right-hand side and glimpse these incredible structures. They're more intent now on focusing on the job in hand. The race is firmly on, and we're going to make our way back into the Winter Park. That's where the riders will take on the final few kilometres as they swoosh into a flat race finish. Look at the dust being thrown up at the moment. A little bit of road furniture for the riders to deal with, and there's the reason why these cones are here is there are speed ramps and berms almost in this gravel, so it's just to warn the riders that it's a little bit tricky and they need to be careful. A big attack on the right-hand side as riders try to go clear. This looks like an attack from Total Energy. Looks a little bit like Daniel Oss in the new colours. He's of course moved from the Bora Hansgrohe team along with Peter Sagan. Sagan not in this race, but he's taken a few of his key right-hand men into this French squad and really added to the firepower that they've got as we head into the classics that will come up in March and April. That attack is nullified. Another big attack on the front. We've come off the gravel section now as we head onto the tarmac. The riders will be pretty happy with some smoother roads. One rider desperately trying to get clear. And there's all sorts of reactions going on behind. Looks like UAE are there. Rui Costa right on the front. And Costa goes through the bonus sprint and takes the maximum bonus seconds. Maybe thinking about later on in the week, is Rui Costa looking to win this year's race? Another big attack, another rider going clear. Bahrain victorious at the front of the race now. Everyone grappling for a little bit of slipstream. Another reaction as UnoX now go on the attack. The team in the yellow and red colours, they've got their sprinter in Erland Blikra from Norway. They're the rider that they're going to look after today. And as far as the overall is concerned, the UnoX team have got Anton Scharmig of Denmark. That's the rider they're going to look after to try and win this year's race. So a big right-hand turn. The wind is now around about 14 kilometres, so not too tricky. As we see another attack. One rider just emerging off the front of this peloton. This looks like the figure of Youssef Mirza as he just tries to go clear. Comes from the UAE, the first UAE rider ever to ride the Olympic Games. And he's just starting to open up a little bit of a gap here. Only a few metres. But this is good, and it's good for UAE because it will take the pressure off their sprinter, Fernando Gaviria. Gaviria's had an illness-laden couple of years. He unfortunately got COVID during the UAE Tour back in 2020. And this is Mirza. Rocking and rolling a little bit, isn't he, as he just tries to build the advantage, trying to get every little bit of power out of those legs and try and get this bike to get real momentum. Well, you wonder if Gaviria has asked Mirza just to go up and soften up the opposition a little bit. Front of the peloton then. In the blue, the team of Alpecin Fenix. They're blue with the red logos on the shorts and on the back. Their sprinter today, Jakob Moretzko, the Italian rider, in his first race for the Alpecin Fenix team. Well, so many of these teams bringing in new riders, changing bikes, changing equipment and everything. So it really is a time when the riders use these races to get everything dialed in. Mirza is starting to look a little bit better. His lead now 15 seconds. And this is starting to look useful. Peloton not reacting at all. They seemingly are quite happy to let this rider go up the road. The question is when the sprinters will decide that they need to start to chase, because as we've seen so often in races, particularly last year, solo breakaways go to the finish. Well, as Mirza up there at the top of our picture goes round the corner, now we're starting to see some formations. Right hand side of the peloton, in that light blue kit with the dark blue shorts, is a team of Bike Exchange. They're the team looking after Dylan Groenewegen, his first race for the Bike Exchange squad. That's important for Bike Exchange to be represented here in this race today. They're actually sponsored by this region, by AlUla, so they'll be looking to try and bring home a victory and give their sponsors something back early on in the Saudi Tour. So the front of the race, the light blue on the left-hand side, Bike Exchange. Alongside them in the black, DSM, looking after Alberto Danesi. He is their Italian sprinter. If they decide not to go with him, they'll go with the Australian Sam Welsford. Alongside them in the red, Lotto Soudal. There's the Alpecin Fenix team. Moretsko's locked in on the wheels. And there's the Uno X team. It's a little bit messy at the moment. Tim de Klerk just asking, is there still a rider up the road? The tractor is so experienced. De Klerk wants to bring this one back. He's trying to urge on some teams to bring Youssef Mirza back into this peloton as soon as possible. Now the pace starts to ratchet up just a fraction more. Mirza's already turned left. There he is. Bora Hansgrohe now arrived. That's the team in the red and black and the green tops to the jerseys on that right hand side. They've got two options for sprinters, Martin Lass or Jordi Meeus. They'll decide between them which rider is going to go for the sprint. Meeus has been pretty useful in La Vuelta last year. There is Mirza. He's still hanging out there. Somehow this rider from the UAE is still managing to find some distance between him and the peloton. The arrival then of Cofidis on the left-hand side. We're getting used to these new kits, aren't we? Right at the beginning of the season. The white tops to the jerseys, red at the bottom and the black shorts. The Cofidis team, they'll probably lead out the Olympian Simone Consoni. Now it seems like the peloton is a little bit more urgent. There's Mirza. He seems to have lost a little bit of tempo now. They're edging closer. Looks like they are very close now to bringing him back, and Mirza is all over his bike. Those legs are absolutely stinging after 100 and almost 98 kilometres of this year's race. It's a big start to the Saudi Tour. Mirza about to be brought back. Now it's going to be all about the sprinters. Cofidis on the left-hand side. DSM are getting ready. This is going to be a very fast-paced finish because we have a tailwind in towards the line. They haven't been troubled too much by the wind. They're going to make their way down towards the Winter Park. There's a few twists and turns. 3 kilometres now to go. They're going to make their way down through 2 kilometres. Then it's a right-hander, another left-hander just before the 1 kilometre to go point, and then a swooping right-hand turn in towards the line where you have to get your line absolutely perfect. 2 kilometres now to go. Bike exchange move up. Right-hand side, Dylan Groenewegen is locked in. Alpecin Fenix chatting between themselves. Moretsko is right in on the wheel. He said before the race starts it's been a long time since he has not had to be a solo rider in a sprint. He's interested to see what it makes, what difference it makes if he has some lead-out riders in front of him. And some of these Alpecin Fenix riders are really experienced in trying to bring a sprinter into the finish. Ed Plankert, Sandro Maurice, they're going to work so hard. He's licking his lips, isn't he? Right in there on the wheels. A big move by the Bora Hansgrohe team. And it's Ryan Mullen, the Irish champion, who comes to the front to try and put Martin Lass into position. Everyone looking around at each other, little flicks of the elbows here and there. They've only done this on training camp. They've not done it in a race yet. Bora Hansgrohe seem to have control with Ryan Mullen on the front. Alpecin Fenix to his right-hand side. They now take over. Here's the right-hand turn coming up. It's Alpecin Fenix who get through that corner first. So Alpecin Fenix now have control, but coming back and taking over. Ryan Mullen gets himself back into position. A wonderful move there by the Irish champion as he takes full control of the front of this peloton with Bora Hansgrohe all lined out on the wheel. 1 kilometre of racing to go. Mullen looks around to see where his sprinter is. The answer is perfect position. They close out the team of Bike Exchange in the blue. They take the left-hander. Now they're going to really turn the pace up. Try to take it up to full position to stretch this race out. I still don't see Lotto Soudal. Caleb Ewan is leaving this very, very late with his lead-out train. They are moving up on the right-hand side. There's no space. Whoa, a touch of wheels as a rider went backwards. Another almost touch of wheels on the front. It's very, very messy. There's the team in blue. Lotto Soudal now move up alongside Dylan Groenewegen, who's trying to fight his way onto the wheel of his lead-out train. He doesn't seem to be very comfortable. Lotto Soudal arrive. Here's Bora Hansgrohe underneath the bridge now. They're going to come out the other side, and it's a perfect move by Lotto Soudal. It's seemingly such a long sprint, this. They look around now as Lotto Soudal emerge at the front. Bora Hansgrohe trying to lead out Lass. Lass is in the mix, so is Gaviria. It's going to be Lotto Soudal. Here goes Caleb Ewan. On his wheel is Martin Lass. Gaviria, it's Caleb Ewan. Caleb Ewan takes his first win of the season, and Lotto Soudal, they left it late, but it was a quality lead out. There's the advantage. He left it into the final 75 metres, but once he went, there was no holding him back. Caleb Ewan wins stage 1 of the Saudi Tour. Look at him open up that sprint. Stamping hard, getting that bike moving, and there was really no one else who was going to win that stage. Caleb Ewan will take the lead in the Saudi Tour with that great sprint victory, and look at what it meant to him and his teammates. The lead-out train of Lotto Soudal were very calm on that run-in. They refused to get involved in what was going on. And here is Caleb Ewan now.
Well, Caleb Ewan, that was a pretty nice way to start your season on this Saudi Tour. Spectacular sprint finish. Can you, first of all, take us through those final decisive moments?
Yeah, obviously there's no better way to start the season than with a win. So, yeah, I'm super happy with that. But, you know, I'm super happy with how the team performed. I really got delivered perfectly. I think I only had to sprint for 100 metres. So, yeah, big thanks to them, and they did a great job.
Yeah, because the pressure was really on your shoulders. You came here with a very strong team. You wanted to win.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think we have the strongest sprint team here for sure, and yeah, it's a bit of a new lead out with Rudy Seeley coming in and also Jared Drisner. So they did a great job to just come into the team straight away and integrate and you know, deliver me perfectly like that.
A word on the gravel section. I mean, the scenery was spectacular. You probably didn't have too much time to watch the temples, but that was something, no?
Yeah, that was, obviously we didn't see what was going on there because it was quite hectic in the bunch. I think there was a big crash as well. So, yeah, we just made sure that we were right near the front and out of trouble. And again, the team did a great job getting me right into the front of the bunch before that section.
Thank you very much, Caleb. Thanks.
Thank you.
Caleb Ewan delivers top step of the podium. Well, they've beefed up their lead-out train, and it's just made it even easier for Caleb Ewan to just sit in the wheels and come out at the right time. Let's take a look then at the result. Caleb Ewan won in 4 hours, 41 minutes and 52 seconds. Martin Lass of Bora Hansgrohe, a great position in second, and Gaviria up there in third place. And it's a green jersey for Caleb Ewan. He'll wear that on the roads tomorrow as the leader of this race. The jersey's slightly different colours to some races you're used to, but the Saudi Tour is the green jersey for the race leader. Let's take a look at the general classification after stage number 1. Ewan leads by 4 seconds, courtesy of the bonus seconds on the line, with Gaviria in third place behind Martin Lass. Also a red jersey for Caleb Ewan, but he won't wear that tomorrow. He'll be wearing the green, and he'll hand this on to the second place rider in the points classification. Let's take a look at the standings in the points. Caleb Ewan leads with 15 points, and Martin Lass will wear it tomorrow with 12 points. Out in the breakaway early today, and X take the most active rider jersey, this blue jersey, and it's Martin Urianstad who will wear that on the road tomorrow. The 22-year-old rider from Stavanger, 8 points to him and 4 points to the second place rider, Sorzakis. Thanks for watching the highlights of day 1 of the Saudi Tour. We'll be back tomorrow for day 2. Bye for now.